In 1951, world-renowned ballet dancer Thomas Armour founded a school of classical ballet in Miami after World War II cut his own dancing career short. For decades, he relied on paying students until Ruth Wiesen came along. A graduate of New World School of the Arts herself, Ruth describes the defining moment at Carroll City Elementary School that inspired her to take the organization in another direction.
This little girl came up to me and she said, "Oh, I just love ballet and I would really love to be a ballet dancer." And I said, "Well, you can, would you like to take classes?" And she started laughing. She goes, "I can't do ballet." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Only white girls can." So I set about to change that perception.
It was then that she suggested to Armour that they fill vacancies with scholarship students and train them for acceptance into magnet high schools. He agreed to give it a try.
Much later he said, "I never thought it would work, but I figured just let her try it anyways and she'll fail and then it'll change."
By 1996, the mission of the Thomas Armour Youth Ballet changed, emphasized community outreach, ballet education, and making the world of ballet accessible to underprivileged youth, both as audience members and as performers. Ruth began by recruiting children in nearby schools who qualified for free or reduced lunch and could not afford dance classes outside of school. Girls like Stephanie and Sharon, who are now in the college program at New World.
I don't think I would be probably dancing. It's that serious, because that program, it just, my parents couldn't afford paying classes for me. They couldn't afford taking me to a studio. They couldn't afford anything.
I can't tell you how many times I've turned to Miss Ruth and said, "This kid needs classes this summer. What can we do?" And she takes them in no charge.
Although she was packing the South Miami studio, Ruth realized she couldn't attract enough children from the far corners of Miami-Dade without being in their own communities. So the Thomas Armour Youth Ballet opened satellites in Homestead, the Redlands, West Grove, and Morningside, where children of all ages, ethnicities, and races are provided the opportunity to benefit from a professional dance program.
They learn discipline, incredibly important for kids, not only in their schoolwork, but once they get out in the work world, to have that sense of discipline. The kind of discipline that comes with an art form is rigorous.
To succeed, these satellite programs depend on the dedication of volunteer parents and grandparents, like Susan Beatrice Frace, who are thrilled to have this program in their own neighborhood.
I'm proud of them because it's like a part of me.
Today, Thomas Armour alumni are dancing professionally on Broadway with the Dance Theater of Harlem, the Martha Graham Dance Company, the Joffrey Ballet, Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and so many others.
The Thomas Armour Youth Ballet has been such a great place for me to start off as a young Black African-American artist, and I give homage.
I feel like it's a great treasure to Miami, Florida, and to the dance world in general.
Although now legendary for nurturing young minority talent like the next artistic director of Alvin Ailey, Robert Battle, Ruth knows this kind of success is not the norm, so preparing them for college is her first priority.
It's like my second home. They really do care about grades. They don't want you to sacrifice school to be able to go to the studio.
When you look at their program and you learn that 100% of the kids that come through the program either go to college or they get accepted into a professional dance company, I can't think of another example of a nonprofit educational arts organization that has that kind of track record.
So just what is their secret of success?
It's really so simple. This is not rocket science. It's giving the kids an opportunity and then making sure that you remove those other obstacles that are in their path.
This means Ruth, her teachers, and staff consider themselves interventionists. If a child suddenly stops coming to class, they call to find out why. Sometimes it's because a child lost a shoe or can no longer afford train fare, or worse. That's when they step in and pay for shoes, clothes, train passes, and more.
They're doing something so right that we ought to bottle it and replicate it, if we could.
Replicating this model is precisely Ruth Wiesen's dream.
My fantasy is really to take this model and apply it to other arts programs, in music, in theater, in visual arts.
For the sake of Miami-Dade's children, let's hope this fantasy becomes reality.